Okay, so we are live here. This is great. This is great. Thank you for being here. This is a very important event for me and for the Wealthing Institute. This is the first of the many live and online events that we plan to host. It wouldn't be possible with the help of many people around. I'm especially grateful to Rhonda Brumbach and Adela Rubio, and of course to you, because this course wouldn't be possible if you weren't here. At the Wealthing Institute, we believe in creating wealth in a way that is consciously and meaningfully to the individual and to society at large. This is a little bit different from capturing wealth in business and what we think about business. Creating wealth applies to nonprofit sector, government, profit, for-profits, individuals as well, and families. And everyone benefits when we create wealth. It builds bridges between many worlds, and that's why I created the concept. Because I want a better world, not only for me, but for everybody. So that's very, very important to me. Hi, Bertita.
Hi, hello, Alicia. So glad to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
Here I am, doing the best I can to link in here.
That is great.
I think I'm settled.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm covering the bases now. This is the first of many events. And first, I want to take a little time to explain how this works, and then we'll go into what brought us here, which is funding a great idea. How this works is very simple. We will hold events quarterly for our programs, and we would post them online. And then we hold a week-long question and answers, short events like this. For half an hour during a week, we meet between 12 and 12:30. So you can post your questions and other people can post their questions, and we record this and we put this online. Of course, we will continue to have our courses in Silicon Valley, but it is not practical for many people to come here. And this is the way that we try to share this with the world. We would also like to do programs online, and this would complement this series of questions and answers and a bonus webinar that is going to happen next Tuesday. So if you know anybody that might benefit from this, please feel free to share and to make the connection between them and us. And you might also want to just learn about these things because you're intrigued about it. You might not need to use it, but this is just a very exciting way of connecting to others in the world and to just learning about what is happening in terms of a new way of doing business and conducting nonprofit sector, which is conscious capitalism, and it's the creation of wealth and prosperity for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. So this course is our first course, and it's about funding a superb idea. That idea can be for-profit, can be for a startup, but it's not limiting to that. It could be an idea for a cause. It could be something you're passionate about. It could be an idea within a large organization. It could be an idea for a small company to grow and become global, or to license something, or even a project that you want to pursue within your job or out of your job with a group of people. Why funding? Because great ideas need to be executed to have an impact. And to execute ideas, we need resources. And usually we think about funding as a way to pay for the resources that we need. We will cover that in the classes. But in general, it's about getting a great idea out, what I call out of the crib and into the world. And for now, I just want to reconfirm that we'll talk about how to fund a superb idea for this particular course. And we will meet here online every day for a week, even Saturday and Sunday, from 12 to 12:30. You can post your questions here on the chat line. There is a chat line. If you look in the bottom there, there's a chat line. There's a chat line right there.
Huh?
Yeah. So you can put your questions
over here.
Say hi there. Hi.
Over here.
Yeah. So you can put your chats there. You can also interact if you want to do that. And you can also post the questions on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Google+, or our Facebook page, facebook.com/wealthing. Or you just go to our website. We have the wealthinginstitute.com or the wealthinginstitute.org, and you'll find we have multiple ways to connect. At the end of each session, I will make a summary and post it also on our social media. And if you're on our mailing list, you will receive a link to the recording and to the summary of what we discussed. And you would also receive some of the questions that we've been asked. So on your marks, ready, set, and go. For this course, we got a ton of questions, just a ton of questions. And we try to organize them in a way that was meaningful to start having this discussion. And the first question was about whether big ideas whether we could get to those big ideas or not. Because we tend to think that those great ideas and the big ideas that have that create large changes and transformations are not for everybody, which I don't think it's true. And I was very surprised because of the work that I do as an angel investor, I get all the time questions about how do I fund these? I have these, and they already have a business plan. They already have something. So I never thought that some people would even question if they could come up with something that would have a global impact and that they could do. I don't think you need to be a superhero to do super things. And I'm also an exponent of that because I grew up in a little town. I come from a little country. I didn't grow up thinking about capitalism or great ideas. And it was just a matter of having a process and a mindset that changed and evolved with time. And there's also a lot of examples of people that have been able to come up with these great ideas along the way, not necessarily in a short period of time. And some people like Mary Kay and Ray Kroc, they started after they were 65. And other people, of course, you see these people at 12, you created these things, and it's usually between the 30s and the 40s that a lot of people get their great ideas that they can execute because they already have the skills. But in reality, when we do the research, there's no limit in terms of race or age or gender or nationality or skills or religious or political affiliation. There's just not enough evidence that one thing leads to another. What we do know is that there's a lot of publicity and advertisement in some parts of the world that makes some of these people more visible. So what we see that is more visible is a typical professional male between 30s and the 40s making these great things. That is what we see is visible. And also we have a lot of media buzz around young people between 15 and 25 that they can accomplish great things because they think that they're very vocal about it, and the media captures that. But in reality, when we do research, there's not a clear pattern about when people start companies and why do they do that, or when they start non-for-profits and they become very successful. So the trick is really in the execution, not really in the idea. So to me, the most shocking question was really this: am I worthy of a big idea? That was the great question that most people were asking. And would I be able to make this happen? How am I sure? So it's a sense of insecurity about being able to accomplish something, and that prevents them from even giving themselves the permission to have that mindset, to then start looking for something else. Because if we don't believe in our ideas, we cannot expect other people to believe in our ideas. So let me just take a step back and think about and explain how we come up with ideas. There are all sorts of ideas inside of us. The trick is then to have what I call healthy selfishness and do what you want to do because of you. So this is a paradigm break. We tend to expect people to evaluate what we can do and certify that we can do things. And that comes from our efforts in socializing. So we start with recognition, external recognition, to give us permission to do something inside. Let's turn that around. And let's start with giving ourselves permission to do something first and to think that we can do something. So that is what I call healthy selfishness. Now, in sociology, it has been studied that people who are successful might not relate to others in the same way because other people tend to have a conversation about stress and problems and difficulties and overcoming problems, but not really on solutions in achievements and success. So the minute you start saying, I am successful, you start feeling that you are successful, people feel rejected. The people that interact with you feel rejected and they start withdrawing. So if we are not capable of establishing first what it is that we want to do because it makes us happy and being a little bit close to others, then we are very sensitive to the other's feedback. And that feedback and that relationship between what we want to do and what others think that we want to do creates a conflict that prevents us from being successful or from thinking about being successful. Because we cannot communicate about, oh, life is so hard, I have this problem. We can't do that. So they don't feel that we can communicate in the same way. And that happens in the US, that happens in Latin America, that happens in Africa, in Asia, in Eastern Europe and Central Europe. I found that happens everywhere in the world. So in order to have great ideas, the first thing you need to do is you need to isolate that idea from the impact of others first, so you can think about it. You can think about how you achieve that. Mm-hmm. So because you want to do what is good for you and important for you and inspiring for you, you want to become your best product and you want to leave an impact in the world, you have to develop a sense of consciousness about that. That is what we call the conscious way of creating wealth. We are all creating wealth. So right now, when we are talking, we are creating wealth for the people that manage internet, the people that created this screen, the people that created the software, the mines in Africa where we have the minerals to make this, the electrical companies, the service people around the world that make this connection possible. We are creating wealth for all of them because we are giving them a part of our money so we can have this conversation. That is one part. If we are creating wealth, then we can be conscious about it. And then we can decide this is how we choose to create wealth or not. That is the first part. Be a little bit selfish and realize that we have an impact anyways in the world, but be conscious about that. When we're conscious about the way we're creating wealth, then we have our life, we set our life in a different light because we realize how important we are to others from an inner point, not from the feedback that we get. Then this is one of the key elements about great ideas. The ideas have to be great to you first and foremost. Those ideas don't necessarily have to be related to profits. Those ideas can be related to things that you are that are important to you. You can do, for example, you can decide that you're going to do something for pets or for the environment, and you can say, I'm going to link this to benefits to others as well. But first and foremost, that has to be something that is meaningful to you. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to receive the feedback in a conscious and positive way because you're going to be expecting other people to solve that for you. And I have a story about a little fish in one of my books that was looking for happiness. And I started asking the other animals in the ocean what was happiness about. And the fish found a turtle, and the turtle said, well, it depends, in this world or in the other world. And the fish said, I knew that was another answer, and started asking every other animal, where is the other world? Because he knew the other world was the world of happiness, until somebody said that is the way to happiness, and the fish tried to skip and jump out of the ocean into the sand to find happiness. So in reality, we need to find what is important to us, and nobody can tell us that. That is the first. That is the first and most important thing. The other important area is the impact that we want to have in others. So going back to rethinking life, if you think that you're going to have an impact anyways because you're here, then you become conscious about how you create wealth. You can be conscious about how you destroy wealth. And then you can turn into the impact you have in others. If you think about this gift that we have, that is life, to create something that is useful to others, then you can do that also consciously. And that is the part that we talk in the Institute about meaningfulness. So you see your life as a way to create something in a conscious way and in a meaningful way. You do this after you've decided that the idea is important to you. And then you're open to receiving feedback, so your idea is tweaked to benefit others. It's not the other way around, which is the way most people do. Most people start looking for ideas around and they see if they can apply it to themselves. No, we have to do it the other way around. First, why is this important to you? And then second, what is the legacy you want to build with something that is important to you? Otherwise, you don't have the foundation that you need.
Right.
So if those conditions are met, then you are in a better place to start thinking about your ideas. How do we find great ideas? Well, in academia, there's a lot of controversy about this. Some people say, well, we find ideas, and some people say, no, we create ideas. And at the end, great ideas without executions are nothing. So if we're evaluating them, what we evaluate is the execution, not the thoughts. I was in a group in Denmark where we evaluated how people think entrepreneurially. And it was very important to try to define how you think about it. But if the end result is not how you think, but how you act, what makes a difference. And that is what we need to concentrate on. So big ideas are not evaluated by others. They are evaluated by you. That was the starting point. But without the help of others and the feedback from others, you cannot transform them and you cannot execute them. And that is where the others come and start helping you out, or start, even by contrast, start telling you this is not what we want, so you want to move a little bit to this side or to the other side. But if we're not passionate about something, we will not find the resilience to continue taking action. And that would prevent the big ideas from happening. So I guess my invitation to start with is to create list of ideas. And if you have something that you think is useful to the world, put it out and start creating lists, and then realize how you can come up with great ideas all the time. The main issue then becomes, how do you execute? Because you cannot execute all of these ideas. So you need to start letting go of the ideas that might be interesting, but they're not important to you. And when you let go of those ideas, what you do is you can start tweaking and changing so the ideas have more value, or they have more impact, or you feel more inspired by the feedback that you get. And don't let reality checks fool you. There's no limit in doing anything. There's no skills required that you cannot develop. You will need those skills, but you can develop those skills, or you can bring somebody on board that can help you with those skills. There's no barriers enough and strong enough to what you can do that are larger than the self-constrained barriers that you have. So the trick is to change the question from doubting that if you can do something to finding how can I do something. Because every minute that we wait and you spend on looking at a problem is a minute that we don't use at looking at the solutions. And that is the other shift. How do I get this done? Now, will I get this done? So that was really the conversation that I wanted to have about big ideas. If you have an idea and you're trying to do something and you find that, this is not really getting the feedback that I want, this is not getting the outreach that I want, then it is time to go back and say, is this really something that you want to do? And what is the core of this? So you can then pivot based on what people tell you. But the core is that this is important to you, and that's why you're going to do it. And this is a great example about the Institute, because I've been thinking about this for ages. I've been teaching entrepreneurship for over 20 years in 5 different countries. And then it got to the point where I said, no, what I want to do is I want to create an institute. I want to create a university. And I started working towards that now that I had more clarity in my head. And I started reconciling what I wanted to do. And then I came here. And then I now think, if I want to have a global impact, I have to make it available to others. So it's that process in your mind. I don't know if you have any more questions for that. We have a few minutes if you want to participate.
So far, no.
Okay, good.
Very clear.
Okay. So do you think, Asdrubal, do you have any questions about your project?
I was on mute, sorry. Not right now. I was trying to understand what you were saying. Okay, as I read a lot on your webpage and on the bonus also. I'm in a stage in one of my projects. I have several of them. Okay, where I believe that I have to bring it to what I really want. Okay, instead of what the others want from me. That's basically what I heard from you right now. So I'm gonna give it another way around. Okay, to see how can I introduce my idea to me first. Okay, be passionate about it, and then move forward with the rest of the program.
Yeah, that is great. That is great. I think tomorrow we're going to talk about how do I start getting funded. But this is so interesting when I talk to people, even to the group of angel investors where I am at. We tend to think that funding is a rational process, and it's not. And people will fund people, and will fund not only in capital but also in resources. They would help people that they have that spark, that they're passionate about something. If you don't have that, then you don't have a core foundation. It is possible, but it's much more difficult. In my own view, it's not worth to try to fund something that you're not passionate about, because why would you live life if you're not passionate about something that you do, when you can do the two things at the same time. Going back to discover why it is that you're doing this is very important, and having the time to explore that on your own is very important, because when you get to the point that you're going to talk to somebody who's going to make the decision that they're going to invest in you, or they're going to fund you, or they're going to donate to you, or they're going to help you, they're going to open the doors, there is a fundamental human connection there that cannot be substituted. It just doesn't happen. A lot of people think business people are cold-blooded, and they're not. They're people. We are all people. If you don't have that passion there, if it doesn't go through, you're not gonna have you're gonna limit your opportunities. That's basically it. It also shows a little bit with clients and employees as well, but fundamentally, because we're talking about funding, a lot of people will give you access to their resources if they know you're passionate about it, because then you become inspiring. And it happens with so many things, and I see it all the time. So I think that is a valid point. Yeah.
Very useful. Can you hear me, Alicia?
Yeah.
Very, very, very concise, useful 20 minutes. Amazingly well said, and very clear to me. And appreciate all that you said. Very applicable. So thank you for this first 20 minutes. Very clear.
Thank you, Bertita. Thank you. Thank you, Asdrubal, as well. Well, feel free to ask more questions if you want for the next classes, for the next opportunities. I thank you very much for being here, and I look forward to your other questions, either here on the chat or online on Facebook or Twitter, or direct message me.
Great. See you tomorrow.
Okay. See you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Terrific. Thank you.